promise right here, and anytime I miss a day, I'm going to play this clip right here. I'm going to vlog every day in April. And then if I miss a day, I'm going to play that clip and then just say I lied by accident.
I'm not going to say I didn't see that coming, because I did. Without further ado, let's get on with what was supposed to be day 5. I did write my character profile yesterday for what I was going to do today. I decided to just make each character their own video for length's sake and for upload time's sake, because upload time is killing me right now. So day 5 of preparing for April, and now we're moving to step 3 of the snowflake method. And this one is about characters. So here's step 3. For each of your major characters, take an hour and write a 1-page summary sheet that tells the character's name, a 1-sentence summary of the character's storyline, the character's concrete goal, the character's abstract goal or motivation, the character's conflict, and the character's epiphany, and a 1-paragraph summary of the character's storyline. So as you can see, we're going from that 1 sentence, similar to what we did with the plot, but in this little video, we're going to make it all the way to an actual paragraph. I think I said this in the last video, but just in case I was hallucinating in that moment, here's why I skipped over step 2. Step 2 would talk more about the characters and the plot, so to avoid mass confusion, and it's just like, oh, who are these people doing these things? I decided to actually introduce the characters first, and then I'm going to go back to step 3. This isn't because I'm afraid of the plot. Well, I'm probably minutely, borderline, moderately afraid of the plot, but yeah. Also, spoilers. I do kind of want to keep some things to myself. Let's get on with our main character, our MC, Pan. First things first, a 1-sentence summary of the character's storyline. This may help me with my previous video to decide which sentence I would use to describe my story as a whole. So here's the 1-sentence summary of Pan's story. Pan has no memory of his life before he was forced into the guild, but his scars and the old computer he finds keep him running blindly into the future to find answers about the past. Okay, so I think I pulled the first sentence I used in the last video the most, and I think, yeah, that's pretty obvious. That makes sense because that sentence had the most to do with Pan. Keep in mind, even though those 3 sentences are different, all of them could describe the story. So those 3 sentences weren't describing 3 different stories that I could go down. They were describing the same story, just different aspects of it. Alright, on to the next thing. What is the character's concrete goal? Pan wants to find Watts to power up an old computer he found underneath his bedroom floorboards. Okay, simple enough. What is the character's abstract goal? So the difference between concrete and abstract is concrete is more focused and can be a specific object, while abstract is more broad. The abstract goal, in my opinion, is harder to pin down, and the character might not even know that they want this goal at the time. When creating the abstract goal, I relied on one of the character's traits, which was curiosity, and I think that's a very active trait. So, in my opinion, in writing, characters can have active traits that propel the plot or sort of passive traits where they need the plot to carry them. Traits like shyness or being soft-spoken, those would be more passive, where curiosity would be an active trait. So with Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, there's a thing called the hero's call, which sort of initiates the plot. Sometimes characters can be more reluctant to accept the call, so the plot needs to sort of force them into it. And other times characters sort of seek out the call and they go with it. I like those characters personally. I think it's because I'm more of the passive character trait where I just kind of sit back and I'm content. which is nothing wrong with being content. It's just sometimes I like reading about people who aren't me. I don't know. That may be why I'm having a hard time finding other books to read, because it seems like every book I'm reading is about a girl who has magical powers and gets knocked out and wakes up, and it's like, hey, guess what? You have magical powers. And then she's like, my life sucks now. And it's like, no, it doesn't. You have magical powers. I would kill to have magical powers. You know what magical power I would want? The ability to never sleep. I already do that, but I just want the ability to be a functioning human being while never sleeping. It'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Like, just no sleep ever. That sounds awful. That sounds like I want to torture myself. But really, like, I'd be completely fine. I wouldn't need sleep. Can I just be a robot? That'd be the best thing ever. And just beep around. This is getting weird. Even though he's back at home with his family, nothing feels right to him. No one will tell him how or why he has so many scars, which leads Pan to have a dangerous impulse to unlock the secrets of his family and the island he's told to call home. This seems good. This also reveals that the character is sort of impulsive and reckless. Let's move on to the next step. I like impulsive and reckless. What is the character's conflict? Because of his memory loss, Pan finds himself being easily manipulated by the Thieves' King, his family, and leaders of his guild. He has to learn how to be one step ahead of those who want to catch him stealing Watts. Manipulation is a theme of my story that I like to explore, so I think this kind of ties that in. What is the character's epiphany? Pan starts to learn that he can't only trust himself. He starts off as a very isolated character who has trouble connecting to other people. He's not aloof, just awkward. He learns to let himself open up to others, but he also learns that you shouldn't open up to just anyone. I think this is something I explore a lot with characters, and it might be a personal thing. Because, like, there's some times where you're just like, oh, I'm sensing the crazy. And it's a type of crazy that doesn't really mesh well with my crazy. I think maybe this relationship is best at arm's length. There we go. Arm's length. It's just, at that distance, I'm comfortable with you right there. Like, you have to find the right friends. The people that are going to accept you for your type of crazy. And the people that you're going to accept their type of crazy. They may not mesh completely well with your type of crazy. They may be like a different type of gravy to your potato. It should be somewhat palatable. It shouldn't be like, oh, let's put chocolate syrup on the potato. That may work out perfectly, though. Okay, so the last step is to write a one-paragraph summary of the character's storyline. After waking up in the hospital with no memory and scars on his face, Pan was sent home with no answers as to what happened to him. With his father and new stepmother pressuring him to join a guild, Pan fears what will happen to him if he can't pass the test to get into a guild. Luckily, Pan finds an advantage right underneath his floorboards. A computer with a detailed cheat guide on how to get into the Silk Guild. With the help of 3 other students, Pan gets into the guild. After they are let into the guild, the computer starts sending Pan more messages, revealing more secrets about the island he's supposed to call home. So I may tweak that a little bit, but that's pretty much what I have so far. I'm going to write the other 3 character sheets. These videos with pictures are taking a lot longer than I expected to edit. However, the upload time is a lot quicker. So I'm going to keep up this method of creating videos and see if I get any faster at editing these. So that's Pan. And here's my dog.